Welcome back. All right, we have 15 games on Friday, 15, and 8 on Saturday. These are all American based games, too, right? Minus Ottawa. Ottawa's the one Canadian team that's hosting. So here we go. Starting at 10 a.m. Pacific, which is 1 p.m. Eastern. We got two games then, an hour later, so it's a lot to watch. Starting with Detroit and Boston. These teams have already met twice this year. They've split the first two. Boston won the first game 4-1 on October 28th. On November the 4th, Detroit won 5-4. They will meet again on December the 31st. So, for Detroit, they are currently 9-6-3 over their last 10 games. They're 4-4-2. Their power play 20%, their penalty kill 79%, so a little bit below 100% there. They're scoring 3.61 goals per game. They're allowing 3.17. So overall, the numbers for Detroit have been good. On the Boston side, they're 14-1-3, which is insane. 7-1-2 in their last 10 games. Their power play clicking at 22%. Their penalty kill 91%. I don't know how much longer they can stay in the 90s, but they've been in the 90s all year. 3.44 goals scored per game, and they're allowing 2.11. Very good goals against. Also at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, we've got the New York Rangers and the Philadelphia Flyers, the first of four meetings between these teams. They'll meet again February 24th, March 26th, and April the 11th. So for the Rangers, they're 13-3-1 on the season. They're 8-1-1 over their last 10 games. They've been playing very, very well. 31% on the power play. That's a big part of the reason why. And they're 85% on the penalty kill. So special teams are elite for the New York Rangers. They're scoring 3.24 goals per game. They're allowing 2.29 goals against per game. On the Philadelphia side, they're 10-8-1 to start the year. 6-4 over their last 10. Their power play, an anemic 11%. Their penalty kill, good, 82%. Scoring 3.26 goals per game, allowing 2.89 goals against per game. Their winning streak was ended in their last game. We'll see if they get a new one started against the Rangers. Then an hour later, 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, we got Toronto and Chicago getting started. This is the second and final meeting. October 16th, it was a 4-1 win for the Chicago Blackhawks. So Toronto will be going into Chicago trying to return the favor. The Leafs are 10-5-2 over their last 10 games. They're 5-3-2. They played well in Sweden. We'll see how things go in Chicago. Their power play, very good, 29%. Their penalty kill, off a little bit at 75%, but the work's getting done, so we'll see if those numbers get better. They're scoring 3.53 goals per game, which is good. They're allowing 3.41. They need the goals against to come down. On the Chicago front, they're 5-12 on the year. They're 3-7 in their last 10. 11% on the power play, 77% on the penalty kill, scoring 2.53 goals per game, so exactly a goal less per game than Toronto, and allowing 3.71 goals per game. So for Chicago, a team that's dealing with a lot over the last 24, 48 hours, we'll see how things go for them in this one, and if they'll be distracted at all with whatever else is going on with Corey Perry and Hall's gone and Athanasiou's on the IR. Yeah. Anyways, 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific, the Columbus Blue Jackets and the New Jersey Devils are the first of three games getting started at this time. There are more games early in the day than there are later in the day. I don't think I'm going to be able to split these up. Like, I keep thinking to myself, well, maybe I'll be able to do a video of the first two. And then I think it over and I'm like, when? So the Columbus Blue Jackets in against the New Jersey Devils. This is the first of four meetings as well. They'll meet again December 16th, December 27th, as well as January the 19th. So that's three meetings in a little over a month. For Columbus, they're 5-11-4 overall. They're 1-7-2 in their last 10, but that one win was their last game against Chicago. 11% on the power play, 88% on the penalty kill, and they're scoring 2.9 goals per game, which is actually not bad considering their record. They're scoring 3.6, or they're allowing 3.6 goals against per game. So their goal differential is nowhere near as bad as Chicago's, just their overall record's not been very good. New Jersey's 8-8-1. They need this. They're 4-6 over their last 10, as I documented in a video today. 38% on the power play. That's excellent. Their penalty kill 77%. Considering the 38% power play, those numbers added together are pretty elite. 3.47 goals scored per game, but they're allowing 3.82 goals against per game. The defense has got to tighten up. The goaltending has to be better. Columbus is coming in. We'll see how it turns out. 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific start between Nashville and St. Louis. This is the first of three meetings. They'll meet again February 17th and April the 4th. For Nashville, they're 8-10 on the season. They're 4-6 in their last 10. Their power play 20%, their penalty kill 73%. They're scoring 3.11 goals per game. They're allowing 3.28 goals against per game. So allowing more than they've scored, which makes sense. They're below 500, but they've won 3 in a row. St. Louis at home, 10-7-1 to start the season. 7-3 over their last 10. 7% on the power play. That's got to improve. Their penalty kill 78%. 2.89 goals scored per game and allowing 2.83 goals against per game. So their goal differential is a positive right now for St. Louis. Things have definitely turned around. 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific start as well between the Oilers and the Capitals. I'm going out on a limb with picking the Oilers here. This is the first of 2 meetings. They'll meet again in Edmonton on March the 13th. But for the Oilers, they're 5-12-1 to start the year. It's a horrible start. They're due for a win. They've got to get a win on this road trip. They're 3-7 over their last 10. Again, this road trip has sidelined what they had started under the new coach. 22% on the power play, 75% on the penalty kill. They're scoring 2.94 goals per game. They're allowing 4 goals even per game. Those numbers just aren't good enough. On the Washington front, they are 10-4-2, 8-1-1 over their last 10. 7% on the power play as well, 83% on the penalty kill, scoring 2.56 goals per game. So their offense is still middling, but their goals against 2.89, and the numbers are gradually getting better. Washington isn't going to beat you 8-1, as I said in the live stream tonight, but they do work hard, and they can win those close games. 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific start between LA and Anaheim. First of 4 meetings here. They'll meet again February 24th, April the 9th, and April the 13th. So if the Ducks are going to make the playoffs, if they're going to stay in the hunt longer, they need the win here. For LA, they're 11-3-3 overall, 7-1-2 over their last 10, and they're a perfect 8-0 on the road. 19% on the power play, 90% on the penalty kill. Solid kill for the Kings. 3.94 goals scored per game. That's fantastic. They're allowing 2.53 goals against per game. On the Anaheim front, they're 9-10. They're 4-6 over their last 10. Definitely feels like the wheels have come off for them. 21% on the power play, 82% on the penalty kill. So those are good numbers, but they're scoring 2.84 goals per game, so that's dropped, and they're allowing 3.16. So definitely we've seen a switch with the numbers now with the Anaheim Ducks. Can they switch it back? 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific start as well between Montreal and the San Jose Sharks. So like I said, the first 8 games are all early matinee games, and then we get into the later games. So this is the first of 2 meetings between Montreal and San Jose. They'll meet again on January the 11th. For Montreal, they're 8-9-2 overall, 3-7 in their last 10, 19% on the power play, 73% on the penalty kill. They're scoring 2.89 goals per game. They're allowing 3.53 goals against per game. Montreal slid recently, but they're coming off that win over Anaheim. And San Jose, well, they're 3-15-1 overall. They're 3-7 in their last 10. 16% on the power play, 72% on the penalty kill, 1.47 goals scored per game, and they're allowing 4.32 goals against per game. For San Jose, this is definitely the darkest time I can remember for this franchise. People will point out 92-93. Hey, that was a second-year team. We didn't expect anything from a second-year team. This team, while we may not have expected much from them, 3 wins through 19 games. They just need to be better. 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific start between Pittsburgh and the Buffalo Sabres. Now, there's the possibility right here. So this game is the one starting here. These other games should all be done at that time. There's the possibility that during the first intermission of this game, I review these 8, and I would do so knowing full well I'm going to miss the start of the second period in this game. I may do that, because I'd rather have these 8 early games reviewed and people able to watch the review for those games instead of at 11 o'clock at night my time, because that's a ridiculous amount of time for somebody to wait for the review of the first few games. So that's what I'm leaning towards, but just saying I don't know if it's going to work out that way. Depends on when the games actually end, if there's shootouts and all that, if there's overlap, we'll see. But for Pittsburgh and Buffalo, Pittsburgh won the first matchup November 11th by a score of 4-0. They will meet again on January the 6th, the third and final meeting. Pittsburgh's 9-9 overall. They are 6-4 over their last 10. So 6-4 over their last 10. 14% on the power play, 86% on the penalty kill. Those two numbers add up to 100. Scoring 3.22 goals per game, allowing 2.61 goals against per game. On the Buffalo side, 8-9-2 is their record. They're 4-4-2 over their last 10. Their power play 13%. That's got to get better. Their penalty kill 86%. It's fantastic. 2.84 goals scored per game. They're allowing 3.21 goals against per game. Then we get to the 7:30 start, 4:30 Pacific, between the New York Islanders and the Ottawa Senators. Again, it's a 1.5 hour difference between the start of this game and this game. That may be that breathing room I need to review these 8. That's, again, we'll see. But yeah, so the first meeting between the Islanders and the Senators was October 26th. The Islanders won that one 3-2. The third and final meeting will be March the 16th. The Islanders are 7-6-5 on the season. They're 3-4-3 in their last 10. Feels like they're starting to figure it out, though. 22% on the power play, 70% on the penalty kill. Scoring 2.56 goals per game and allowing 3.17 goals against per game. On the Ottawa side, they're 8-7 overall. They're 5-5 in their last 10. 20% on the power play, 78% on the penalty kill. 3.73 goals scored per game, and they're allowing 3.27 goals against per game. So Ottawa's got a 3-game winning streak. 2 of those being, of course, in Stockholm. And now we'll see, now that they're back home, have they got this figured out? Does getting that time away from Ottawa help them out? We'll find out tomorrow. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific start between Tampa Bay and the Carolina Hurricanes. The third and final meeting. This is it. So October 24th, it was a 3-0 Tampa Bay win. November 11th, it's a 4-0 Carolina win. Now, with Vasilevsky likely to play in this one, is it another shutout victory for Tampa Bay? And I believe both of these were road shutouts as well. So does that happen again? Tampa Bay's 9-6-5 overall. They're 5-3-2 in their last 10. Their power play 31%. Their penalty kill 84%. 3.5 goals scored per game. 3.6 goals against per game. On the Carolina front, they're 11-7 overall. They're 7-3 in their last 10. 23% on the power play. 79% on the penalty kill. 3.39 goals scored per game. They're allowing 3.17 goals against per game. So, yeah, we'll see how this one goes. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific start between Winnipeg and Florida. This should be fun. Winnipeg and Florida are both playing really, really well right now. On October 14th in Winnipeg, Florida won this matchup 6-4. So if we see scoring like that again, I wouldn't be surprised. Winnipeg's 11-5-2 overall. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10. 19% on the power play, 73% on the penalty kill. So special teams have not been great. But they're scoring 3.67 goals per game. Excellent. And allowing 3.06 goals against per game. On the Florida side, they're 12-6-1. They're 7-3 in their last 10. 16% on the power play, 77% on the penalty kill. 3.05 goals scored per game and 2.74 goals against per game for them. So, again, that might be game of the day kind of material right there. 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific start between the... You know, you get over a cold, and just talking for this long, and especially after a live stream, my throat's like, I'm done. Anyways, Calgary and Dallas start at 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. Second of 3 meetings on November 1st. Dallas wins this matchup 4-3. The third and final meeting will be November the 30th. So these teams are going to know each other really well by the end of the month. For Calgary, 7-9-3 is their record. They're 5-3-2 over their last 10. It does feel like they're figuring it out. 13% on the power play, 86% on the penalty kill. I know they just lost their last game in Nashville, but I still give Calgary a bit of a benefit of the doubt. And I'm wearing Edmonton, so I don't know. I may have to turn in my Canuck fan card. Anyways, 2.84 goals scored per game by Calgary. They're allowing 3.37 goals against per game. On the Dallas front, they're 12-4-2 overall. They're 6-3-1 in their last 10. 20% on the power play, 87% on the penalty kill. Still excellent numbers there. 3.39 goals scored per game. They're allowing 2.72 goals against per game. Defense and goaltending a big part of Dallas's success. 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific start as well between the Colorado Avalanche and the Minnesota Wild. I was tempted to wear a Minnesota jersey for this because I'd like to see New Jersey start some sort, or Minnesota start some sort of a turnaround. I don't know why I said New Jersey. Both teams, I guess, are kind of in a slump, so it makes sense. Anyways, first of 4 meetings between the Avs and the Wild. They'll meet again March the 8th, April the 4th, and April the 9th. So they'll meet 3 more times, but not for months yet. For Colorado, they're 12-6 to start the season. They are 6-4 in their last 10. 20% on the power play, 87% on the penalty kill. Those numbers are very good. 3.83 goals scored per game. They're allowing 3.06 goals against per game. Whereas for Minnesota, they're 5-8-4 overall, but their last 10 is ugly. 2-5-3 to get that 5-8-4 record. 16% on the power play, not good enough. And their penalty kill, abysmal at 66%. You know that's driving Dean Evison nuts. 3.12 goals scored per game, and they're allowing an even 4 goals against per game. Just the numbers are not adding up for Minnesota. Not towards success, anyways. And then at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific, yes, the final game, 15th game, will be Vancouver and Seattle. So again, there's an hour and a half between the starts here and this one, so hopefully Vancouver-Seattle's entertaining because it'll have my undivided attention for a while. So November 18th, Seattle wins this matchup 4-3 in Vancouver. The third and final meeting will be February the 22nd. So for Vancouver, they're 13-6-1 overall. They're 6-4 in their last 10. They've lost 3 out of 4. It feels like there's some trepidation with the team right now, or they've fallen off the rails a bit. Their power play still 30% is very good. Their penalty kill 77%. They're scoring an even 4 goals per game. They're allowing 2.55. Those numbers have both started going the other way. I remember when it was 4.4 goals scored, 2.2 goals against. So definitely heading in the wrong direction. But again, it's way too early to say it's a pattern until a couple games from now, and this game will be a teller. 8-5 for the Seattle Kraken thus far. 4-3-3 over their last 10. 25% on the power play, 73% on the penalty kill, 2.86 goals scored per game, 3.38 goals allowed per game. So, which 15 teams are you picking to win tomorrow? Which is going to be today when this posts, because it'll post on Friday morning. Let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, or if you feel like it. I appreciate either. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.